Welcome, everyone. Today we are looking at the foundational elements of the ONNX ecosystem, specifically focusing on architecture, governance, and execution. As shown in the central visualization, ONNX serves as the vital link between various development frameworks and deployment environments. Starting with architecture, ONNX provides a standardized model format that allows for seamless interoperability. This ensures that models built in different frameworks can be easily shared and utilized without compatibility hurdles. Next, we have governance. This pillar emphasizes the open-source, community-driven nature of the project. By maintaining a transparent and collaborative steering process, the ecosystem remains robust, vendor-neutral, and aligned with industry needs. Finally, we look at execution. This is the stage where models are deployed onto diverse hardware targets. Through optimized runtimes, ONNX enables high-performance inference across everything from cloud servers to edge devices and specialized silicon. Together, these three components form a comprehensive ecosystem that accelerates AI innovation and simplifies the path to production.
The landscape of machine learning is currently defined by significant fragmentation between various training frameworks and deployment runtimes. This challenge often creates barriers when moving a model from the research phase into a production environment. To address this, the Open Neural Network Exchange, or ONNX, serves as the universal representation for machine learning. Its mission is to provide a standardized, in-memory computation graph that ensures seamless interoperability and portability of AI workloads across diverse environments. By establishing a shared intermediate representation, ONNX effectively decouples model creation from hardware execution. This solution allows developers to train models in their preferred framework and deploy them across a wide range of hardware, including CPUs, GPUs, and edge devices, without the need for extensive rewriting or manual optimization.
This diagram illustrates our community structure and open governance model, organized as a series of concentric tiers that represent increasing levels of responsibility and engagement. At the base, we have the members, who are general community participants committed to adhering to our code of conduct. Moving a step inward are the contributors. These are active participants sponsored by two approvers, and they hold the community's primary voting rights. Further in are the approvers. Individuals in this role must have been active for at least 3 months and be sponsored by a special interest group, or SIG, chair. Their critical function is to review incoming contributions for quality and technical alignment. At the center is the steering committee, comprised of 5 members elected via the Condorcet voting method. This group is responsible for defining the project's overall vision, strategic goals, and governance policies. Finally, a key principle of our governance is the distinction regarding influence. Member companies do not hold direct voting rights. Instead, influence is exercised through individual contributors. This structure is intentionally designed to ensure a technical meritocracy, where project direction is determined by the expertise and activity of individuals rather than corporate affiliation.
To understand how our collaborative ecosystem functions, we must distinguish between special interest groups, known as SIGs, and working groups. SIGs are defined by their persistent domain ownership. They are ongoing entities that provide long-term stewardship over specific architecture parts, taking direct responsibility for code contributions and maintenance. Working groups, on the other hand, are established for temporary cross-boundary issue resolution. They are project-focused and are disbanded once their objectives are met. Crucially, working groups do not own long-term artifacts. Rather, they develop specifications, recommendations, and implementations, which are then submitted to the appropriate SIG for final approval and long-term management.
The core intermediate representation, or IR, is structured around 3 fundamental components: the graph, the node, and the value. The graph acts as the primary container, encapsulating the entire computation structure. It tracks all inputs and outputs while ensuring a strict topological ordering of operations. Within this structure, we have nodes, which represent individual operations such as an add or a matmul. These nodes are versatile and can store attributes like floating point values or even nested graphs for more complex logic. Finally, we have the value. This represents the data flowing between nodes. Each value carries crucial metadata, including dimensions and element types, providing the necessary context for how data moves through the graph. This slide outlines the methodologies for model validation and protobop serialization. Looking at the model validation workflow on the left, We utilize a funnel-like process where the model passes through a checker context and a lexical scope context to produce a validated graph. This approach allows for granular checking of components down to the tensor proto and node proto levels. By leveraging the ONNX checker, we ensure that every graph adheres to the single static assignment, or SSA, form. On the right, we see the protobop serialization cycle, which manages the conversion between the C++ internal representation and the ONNX protobop format. This is handled via export model proto and import model proto. A vital component of this process is external data security. Our validation includes robust path resolution to prevent symlink attacks, which is particularly important when the system is loading large external tensor files. These combined steps ensure both the integrity and the security of the model throughout its lifecycle. The anatomy of an operator schema, specifically an ops schema within the AI.ONNX domain, is composed of 5 critical structural elements. First, inputs and outputs serve as the precisely defined data entry and exit points for the operation. Next, attributes provide the static configuration parameters that determine specific operator behavior. To ensure system stability and prevent execution faults, type constraints establish strict rules governing the allowed data types for each node. The documentation component consists of embedded C-style string constants that are automatically generated into Markdown for accessible technical reference. Finally, the function body allows for the creation of complex operators by composing them from simpler, existing primitive operators. Together, these components ensure that every operator is robust, well-documented, and functionally consistent within the ecosystem. This slide focuses on the vital process of pre-runtime structural integrity, achieved through type and shape inference. By analyzing input shapes, often containing symbolic dimensions like batch size, width, and height, the system utilizes a dedicated type and shape inference function to propagate structural data through the model graph. This phase is essential for validating the model's architecture before execution, which in turn enables precise back-end memory allocation. The inference process accounts for sophisticated operations, including tensor broadcasting and complex control flow. To handle variability, the symbol table implementation generates unique symbolic names to manage unknown dimensions consistently across the graph. Furthermore, our approach to dynamic flow ensures that complex subgraphs within operators like if, loop, and scan are correctly interpreted. The ultimate goal is to produce a resolved shape, ensuring that the entire computational pipeline is structurally sound and optimized for the hardware backend.
The Model Manipulation Toolkit offers 3 essential features for streamlining and customizing neural networks. Starting with function inlining, this technique expands defined function calls into their individual constituent nodes. It handles the complexities of variable renaming to maintain uniqueness, effectively flattening the model's architecture for improved processing and clarity. Next, size reduction is a powerful tool for generating lightweight versions of models intended for testing. By replacing massive data initializers with more efficient dynamic range or constant of shape sequences, we can dramatically decrease file sizes while maintaining the model's functional topology. Lastly, dimension updating provides the flexibility needed to adapt models to varying batch sizes or dynamic resolutions. This ensures that a model can be repurposed for different hardware or input requirements without triggering validation errors, making it a critical step for versatile deployment. The upset version conversion framework addresses a fundamental challenge in model evolution, the fact that operator signatures change over time, which frequently breaks older models. To solve this, we utilize a granular node-by-node adapter framework that handles version transitions seamlessly. As you can see in the diagram, a node from version 6 enters the adapter, in this specific case, the axes attribute to input adapter. The framework uses specialized patterns to transform the node, such as converting attributes directly into inputs to satisfy the requirements of version 7. These adapter patterns are highly versatile. They can inject typecasting through extend supported types, or even restructure entire graphs. This approach ensures robust backward and forward compatibility, maintaining the integrity of machine learning models as their underlying operator sets evolve. This slide details how hardware execution is managed through the backend API. As illustrated in the diagram, there is a clear separation between the ONNX model, or graph, at the top and the actual abstract device execution at the bottom, which includes hardware like CPUs and GPUs. The backend API acts as a bridge, providing essential decoupling. This means the API abstracts hardware-specific details away from the model definition, allowing for a portable and flexible architecture. A critical step in this process is preparation. The prepare method shown in the middle layer takes the generic ONNX graph and compiles it into a backend rep object. This compilation step is significant because it enables one-time, hardware-specific optimizations. By performing these optimizations during the preparation phase, we ensure that repeated runtime inferences are executed with maximum efficiency on the target device. Before this, functions like isCompatible verify hardware support, and once prepared, the run model function handles the execution using the optimized representation. To enforce standard compliance during backend testing, we follow a structured 4-stage cycle. We begin with test definition, which involves setting up node and model protocols. This is followed by the runner phase, where models are downloaded and NumPy data is generated. Next, we proceed to execution to perform hardware inference. And finally, we move to reporting using the ONNX scoreboard. This approach ensures comprehensive coverage, ranging from individual node behavior to massive, remote, real-world models. A critical component is our scoreboard integration. By utilizing PyTest hooks, we can track node-level coverage and generate standardized CSVs, specifically nodes.csv and models.csv. This allows us to rank backend compliance objectively based on empirical data. The blueprint of truth introduces our conceptual framework for reference operators, illustrating a critical distinction between execution efficiency and mathematical accuracy. On the left, the hardware focus utilizes C++ to achieve high-performance execution, prioritizing raw speed and seamless hardware deployment. On the right, the truth focus leverages Python and NumPy to establish a reference evaluator, which serves as the definitive standard for exact mathematical truth. These pure Python implementations provide an executable specification that acts as the ultimate ground truth for debugging and evaluating network behavior, ensuring it remains independent of any hardware-specific quirks. This methodology covers a broad range of domains, including standard models, machine learning components like the linear classifier, and preview training optimizers such as Atom and Adagrab. Our approach to infrastructure, automation, and distribution ensures that our development lifecycle is both efficient and robust. This starts with GitHub workflows, where automated Sphinx pipelines convert embedded C-style comments directly into live web markdown. This integration guarantees that our documentation is always current and reflects the latest state of the codebase. For package distribution, we focus on the production of many Linux wheels. By automating the build and audit wheel repair processes, we generate self-contained Python packages that are highly portable across various Linux environments. This eliminates compatibility issues and streamlines the deployment process for our users. The final pillar of our system is meticulous dependency control for C++ libraries, such as Protobuf and AppSeal. We use custom Bash and PowerShell scripts to build these critical dependencies from source. This method ensures strict memory alignment and total compliance with the C++17 standard, maintaining the high performance and architectural integrity required for our core infrastructure. The evolution of our platform is guided by a structured request for comments process, which ensures that all substantial changes undergo rigorous technical review before being merged into the standard. The journey begins at stage 1, where an initial idea is formalized using a dedicated RFC template. This stage is designed to clearly articulate the proposal's goals and technical requirements. Once documentation is complete, we transition to stage 2 for community and special interest group review. This is a vital collaborative phase where we gather feedback and build technical consensus across the ecosystem. Finally, in stage 3, the proposal moves to core integration, where it is officially implemented into the platform's foundation. Looking at our future horizons, we are currently managing several high-impact proposals. These include a new zip-based format to support large-scale memory mapping, dynamic control flow enhancements tailored for NLP and sequence-to-sequence models, the development of ONNXi, and the implementation of formal sharding definitions.
This systematic approach allows us to maintain a high bar for innovation while ensuring the long-term stability of the project.